Hello and welcome back to Mark's House and Garden. I'm at Kew Gardens today and I'm with a friend of mine, Tamia, and in this video I'm going to give you a guided tour of Kew Gardens and also tell you how to get here. Now, I've joined Kew Gardens as a member, and the nice thing about being a member, even with a single membership, you can take a friend in with you. Now, because it's not always easy to find parking around Kew Gardens, I've always found the best way of getting here is on the tube or the underground, and you want to be heading to Kew Gardens station, not surprisingly, and Kew Gardens is then a short walk down that road behind me. So Kew Gardens station is on the district line, which is this green one here. You have to be careful though, because the district line does fork off into several different directions, so make sure you're getting on the district line that terminates in Richmond. Kew Gardens is the stop immediately before Richmond.
And the same station is also serviced by the overground line.
When you get off the tube, you'll emerge into this little street in Kew, and then you just have to head down to the Victoria gate of Kew Gardens. Now, you might notice in this video there will be quite a lot of aeroplane noise because we're on the flight path into Heathrow. And whilst you're walking from the tube to the gardens, you can get yourself into the gardening mood by admiring all these beautiful gardens on the roadside. And in no time at all, you will arrive at the Victoria Gate, which is actually on Kew Road. Now, when you enter Kew Gardens, you notice that a lot of the paths are very flat and there are ramps everywhere, so it is pretty accessible. You might have to walk a longer distance because it's quite a big garden, but at least you're walking on a level surface. Now, Kew Gardens, of course, it's known for its glass houses, and there are 4 or 5 of them like that one behind me, and I'll be showing you them all in this video. And at the moment there seems to be some kind of exhibition or art installation, modern with traditional. Nice juxtaposition actually. And there's the house behind and the lake and the fountain, and there's a couple more of those structures in the distance. Let's take a look inside the Palm House. Now, I'm not going to do a lot of talking in here because I don't want to intrude on other people's enjoyment. Don't mind talking outside so much, but I'll just give you some images of this. Look at this banana here. Incredible. There's actually a flower on that one. I don't know if you can see it just up there. I'll try and point it out. And again, these lovely pathways with these steel grills underneath which there is heating. A wonderful experience. Feels very humid in here. The perfect environment for this type of plant. Now, this is a very old structure. I know that there is a modern version of this on site too, and we'll go there in a moment. But just for now, just have a look round of this, the very old glass house at Kew Gardens. And it seems there is some work in progress. It looks like they're doing some renovations. Now, when I last came here, I was able to go up on a platform up at height and look down. I'm not sure that's permissible today, but if it's not in this greenhouse, it probably will be in one of the others, and I'll give you a look at that when we get there. Now, happily, we are in fact allowed to go up on that walkway, which is accessed via this spiral staircase. You've got to be careful because when you get up there, it can get very hot. Let's go up and take a look. And if you can manage to climb up that spiral staircase, it's well worth it when you get up here. Quite an incredible place to be, this. Imagine the work that's gone into building this structure, and imagine the cost of maintaining it, which is why I'm sure Kew Gardens would appreciate anyone's support in joining. I'll put the details for Kew Gardens in the description box below this video. Wow, this is amazing. So that just gives you a flavour of that incredible greenhouse behind me. The next thing we're going to do is take you inside a smaller greenhouse, which has those amazing large water lilies inside. Now, the last time I came here, this small greenhouse was closed for renovation, so I'm hoping that we get access today and we see those wonderful, enormous lily pads that are almost big enough for a human being to stand on. And it looks like today we are in luck. The water lily house is open to the public. Let's go inside. Quite amazing. Hope you can hear me. I'm whispering so that I don't disturb other people enjoying this. But just look at the size of those. Amazing. I'm not exaggerating, but they are actually 6 feet across. Quite spectacular. Apparently, they do flower every now and then. And if I look over in the centre there, it might be that there's a flower about to appear. But just take this in, this space. Absolutely amazing. I've never seen anything quite like this. It's something we'd all love to emulate at home, but I don't think many of us have got the room to do this, which is why it's so good that places like Kew Gardens exist so that we can all come and have a look on our weekends and our days off. Now, the next stop on this guided tour of Kew Gardens will be the Princess of Wales Conservatory, and as you'll see in a moment, it's a much more modern and a much more contemporary structure. It's a lot flatter inside. Having said that, there are several levels, but those levels are once again accessible. And you start off in the arid zone, and this conservatory or huge greenhouse, in actual fact, is divided up into several different areas or different zones. You've got a tropical garden and a temperate tropical garden. You've also got carnivorous plants. And there is a very large pool in here, which also has some of those super large water lilies. You could probably spend a whole day in this conservatory or greenhouse alone. Here are a few images for you to enjoy, and then we'll move over to the Temperate House. Now, you will also find installations which are both interesting and educational. The hive is inspired by the work and the sounds of honeybees and pollinators. And as you get closer to it, you hear this sort of hum that this installation makes. Let me give you a view of underneath it first, and then we'll go up on that platform inside. And as we go inside, you'll start to hear the hum, the vibrations. So there we go, the hive at Kew Gardens. Hope you enjoyed that. I found it very interesting. Again, just look at the structure of it. What must it have been taken to even design and build it? Let's get over to the Temperate House. So behind me, over my shoulder, is the Temperate House. Now that glass house is a little bit cooler than the others, so we'll see a different type of plant. Let's go inside and have a look. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time giving you a view of these. I'll just give you a flavour of it. But do get down here to Kew Gardens if you get the chance. It's well worth a visit. I've been a member now for 12 months, and this is my 5th visit, I think, or 4th visit in those 12 months. And I always see something new. And I always bring a friend with me, so you get double the value, and it's a wonderful day out. Even on a sort of a cold, wet day like this, there's something to see because, as I've already explained to you, there are 5 wonderful indoor spaces that you can explore. Now this place has a slightly more spacious feel, and it's nowhere near as warm as the others, but still it has some plants that wouldn't be able to survive outside in the UK. Look at the structure for a start. there is another one of those walkways up there, which I know that you can go up and walk around. And here we have a little indoor pool, and we shall walk around the back of that and see what we can see. I think there might be some black tree ferns. These are actually hardy in the UK, but they are susceptible to wind damage because they're so tall and they've got these huge big ferns on which act like fans in the wind. Wonderful thing. I want to know what the name of these are. Cyathea medullaris, black tree ferns, and there's a little forest of them there, look, going up. Here we have a sago palm. I have one of those in my garden, Cycas revoluta. Now I will have a wander up this staircase just to give you a view from the top, but I won't spend a lot of time up there. I'll just give you a panoramic view from the top of this staircase. Wow, massive steel structure, and you feel like you're in the top of a rainforest looking down on the canopy. And you go up in one corner, walk all the way around, and then you go back down in the other corner. And so that was a look around the Temperate House. Now I'm going to take you to the Japanese garden and the Chinese pergola. Now it's 5 o'clock. You must check the times that this garden is open because they do vary at different times of the year. I wouldn't want you to turn up too late to be able to get in. So a quick look round Japanese garden, the Chinese pergola, and then we'll call it a day. And so right behind me now and towering above me is the great pagoda. Now I'm going to walk away from it so that you can get the scale, and I must apologise because I've been calling it a pergola, and of course I know it's a pagoda. It's about 9 or 10 stories high. On a summer's day you can actually go inside it and up it, but you do have to pay an extra charge. But it's closed now, I think because the gardens are about to close. So that's the great pagoda at Kew Gardens. I think from memory inside is all wood and you can go up steps in a spiral and look out all the way across London. We're now going to have a look at the Japanese garden and then we're finished. And so now we arrive at the Japanese garden with its gravel and rocks. All symbolism for parts of nature, but very little planting, but beautiful in its own right. There's some kind of temple house. We'll go there in a moment. For now, let's just have a look down here. Now, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but the gravel is all raked into a pattern. There is the peace lantern. You can probably hear an aeroplane above. That is the one thing about Kew Gardens that you're just going to have to tolerate. It's a beautiful garden, well worth visiting, but you are always reminded that you're quite near Heathrow Airport. Now, lastly, we'll finish our tour of Kew Gardens with a look at this wonderful wooden temple structure. Japanese garden has a style of its own, doesn't it? I've often thought about the idea of having a Japanese garden, but the whole thing just seems rather too complex for me to get my head around. So there you go, my guided tour of Kew Gardens in September, mid to late September actually. Hope you enjoyed it. I will put the details for Kew Gardens in the description box below this video. I'll see you soon back at home for some more gardening adventures. Bye for now.